If you're looking to put on some muscle and strength without setting foot inside a gym, then stick around because I got a workout for you. Today we're gonna smash out a full upper body workout using only the Carbon Pro Kit from Clench Fitness. All right, first exercise, we're starting with the chest. We're gonna do some banded bench press or banded chest press using the Carbon Pro bar and a single 41-inch band. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna break it down into 4 sets, and I kind of want to do a pyramid here where we start with around 12 reps for the first set, around 10 for the second, 8 for the third, and 6 for the fourth. So 12, 10, 8, 6, and you should be pyramiding that resistance up, adding more bands, whether you're stacking multiple bands together or just increasing the band size to a bigger band. That's what I want you to be targeting here. And that last set, even the last like 2 sets, should be the big working sets where you're going for all the marbles. Your last 2 to 3 reps should be like excruciatingly difficult to complete, and that's how you know you're gonna be building strength, building muscle. With this, setup is super easy. String the band between the 2 carabiners, and then you're gonna wrap it around the kind of the back side of your traps or the back side of your shoulders. It can take a little bit to get into this exercise comfortably, but once you get there, set up a good grip. I usually like to just use all of the Carbon Pro bar, and all we're doing here is extending out, pushing, big squeeze, contracting and squeezing those pecs, and then controlling it on the way down, nice and controlled. Exhale on the way up, big squeeze, squeeze those pecs, and come back down. And now some people, especially like smaller people, may feel that they lose tension at the bottom of this rep. So that's where I would recommend using a shorter band. So this is a 41-inch band, which is like our standard band at Clench Fitness. But good news, we do have 34-inch bands coming very soon. They should be available sometime in June of 2025. So if you're watching this video after June, we should have them on the website. Go check it out. But they'll just give you a shorter band, which will give you more tension throughout that range of motion. Next exercise, we're gonna do another pressing movement. We're doing standing overhead press. We're gonna do 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps here. My favorite way to set it up is using the foot plate and a single band on each side. So you're gonna have 1 band in each arm and then a pair of Clench band handles. That way you can really easily set these up and stack and progress in resistance between sets. So you just pop your handles in. And like I said, so I have multiple bands set up on the foot plate, so I can easily stack bands or switch out bands between sets, and it makes it just super easy and fast. And then getting into the exercise, we're gonna squat down, blast this up overhead, and then we're just coming down roughly to about nose height, big stretch there. Exhale, and then what I like to do is converge the handles, bring the handles together at the top and a big squeeze, control it on the way down. We're not banging these reps out super fast because we want to force all that tension into the delts and our pressing muscles. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down, little pause at the bottom, big squeeze at the top. And this is the way we do the shoulder press. You can also set this up with the Carbon Pro bar if you want, using just like a single band, or you can hook 1 band to each carabiner as well. That will work. I find that the length of the Carbon Pro bar is a little bit narrow for my width, but smaller people will probably have a great time using the Carbon Pro bar. And that's the couple of options that you can use for the shoulder press. Next up, we got another pressing exercise. We're gonna hit triceps with some standing overhead tricep extensions. And to set this up, my favorite way is to use a single band looped underneath of the foot plate, and I'm going across the narrow channel so that we can get more band length because it's gonna come up overhead. And then you're just hooking it in once, 1 carabiner on each side, and then we're bringing up the other half of the band with the bar. And then the trick here is when you grab it, you're gonna wanna loop your hands underneath of the band on both sides so that when we get it up overhead and then go behind our head, it's gonna come out right where we want it to. So we're gonna grab this bar, get down, bring it up overhead, and now we're gonna basically take about as narrow of grip as possible. And then we're going to get as much elbow flexion as possible and then push it out, pivoting at the elbows, big squeeze. It's basically like a skull crusher overhead. Exhale, big squeeze, control it all the way down, Lengthen out that tricep, stretch it out, big squeeze, come back down. We're doing 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps with this. And again, pyramid that resistance up and really go for all the marbles in your last working set. Next exercise, we are gonna do some seated rows. So we're gonna get into the pulling movement, get this back fired up, get some biceps involved. And setting this up, we're gonna sit on the floor just like I'm doing. Grab yourself the carbon bar, and then you're gonna take a 41-inch band, wrap it around the bottom of your feet, and then you're gonna take a nice shoulder width grip here. I like to go overhand. You could probably do overhand or underhand grip here, whatever you prefer. Underhand will get more biceps involved. I like kind of doing overhand just to focus more on the lats because your biceps are gonna get involved with the rest of the pulling exercises that we do. So we're gonna do another pyramid set here. So we're gonna do 4 sets of 12, 10, 8, 6 reps, and you're gonna pyramid that resistance up with each set. And the last couple of sets are gonna be your working sets where you're really gonna go for all of the marbles. There's nothing left in the tank at the end. And then executing the exercise, super straightforward. Grab that bar, get your spine in a nice straight position. And then I like to lean back a little bit and lock in those lower lats. So I'm rotating my scapulas back and squeezing them right now to start the exercise. So now my lower lats are engaged, and then I'm just gonna pull my elbows back behind my spine. Exhaling, pull them elbows back, get that bar up into your sternum, big squeeze, and then fight it on the way down. Don't let it slingshot you down. Boom. Start with the scapulas a little bit rolled forward, keeping that spine in that locked in position. Roll them back, exhale, boom, big squeeze, and control it on the way down. Try to make every rep look like that. We call that robot reps. You look like a robot while you're doing this because it's gonna be very easy to start losing form and start using momentum and swinging. We do not wanna do that. You wanna stay in that fixed position, drive all that load into the lats. Next up, we're gonna do another pulling exercise. This one, we're gonna target kind of the upper back and the rear delts. We're gonna do 90-degree bent over rows. And my preferred way to set this up so that we get the right tension and the right contraction in the muscles that we're looking for is to use the foot plate, single 41-inch band, and then I'm gonna use a pair of band handles in each end. And then to get that 90-degree effect, I'm off-centering the band into one of these outside channels, and then I'm gonna stand over top kind of on the center, and I'm gonna reach down, grab my handles, and then we're gonna turn them sideways so it looks like a straight line, like a bar, like we're hanging onto a bar, but it's just 2 separate handles. And then we're gonna basically bend over 90 degrees so that our back is parallel to the floor. And then what I want is your arms to be straight down. So you want your arms to be basically 90 degrees to the floor or 90 degrees to your back. And then when we're doing this exercise, we're gonna focus on pulling our elbows back and getting full retraction here, big squeeze, and then control it on the way down. My hands can diverge or spread apart as I'm pulling this back. And also the handles are taking up tension on the band so that we get good band tension here. This may be another good application for a shorter band, like a 34-inch band, but the 41 does work pretty well for me with the handles. And again, we're focusing on control, big squeeze, and let it down nice and slow. Boom. And we're banging out 8 to 12 reps per set, raising that resistance up on every set. But with this one, I don't want you to get super heavy to the point where you're not able to get through the range of motion all the way. The key with this one is getting to that full retraction at the top and really engaging those upper back muscles. If you have too much resistance, you're gonna fall short of that full retraction. So start really light and then work your way up. All right, last exercise, we are gonna do some bicep curls, and we can set these up a couple different ways, so I'll talk through them as we go. First way is using the Carbon Pro bar with a single 41-inch band going across the width or the widest channel of the foot plate to take up as much tension as possible. Then you're just gonna stand here on top, make sure you have enough tension pulling you into this fully straight armed position. If you don't have enough tension, then I would recommend either using a shorter resistance band or swapping this out for a pair of band handles, because with the band handles, you can wrap the bands around the handles to take up tension and make sure you have tension at the bottom of the strap. That's probably the key of this exercise, is making sure you have enough tension to pull you into that straightened position. And then we're gonna stand up straight, lock our core in, and then we're gonna pin those elbows right into our side and then focus on just pivoting at the elbow. Big squeeze at the top, flexing those biceps, control it on the way down, exhaling on the way up, squeeze it, and then fight that negative on the way down. Negative is half the rep, don't forget it. And then just work your way through this exercise. We're gonna try to crank out about 10 to 15 reps over 4 sets here. So we're really gonna blast the volume into the biceps. Another cool trick that I like to do with this as I'm doing this is I'll put my back right up against the wall, so then I can't use any momentum to throw this thing up. That's another thing you wanna fight, is don't use momentum. Try to stay as straight and rigid as possible, and we're only pivoting at those elbows, driving all that force into the biceps. So there you go. There's a full upper body workout using only the Carbon Pro kit from Clench Fitness. So if you're serious about building strength, building muscle at home, this kit, we designed it specifically to basically give you a full body workout experience with the least amount of space, least amount of equipment, least amount of investment possible, while still getting quality results. So if that sounds like you and you don't have one of these yet, head down into the description. There's a link to go pick one right up from Clench Fitness today. Also, if you like the workout that we did today, say you want to add on like some core training, here's a link to some core training, our latest ab video, and then here's another link to some more playlists, workouts, and exercises using the Carbon Pro kit. I highly encourage you to check that out, just so you can see more stuff, have more workouts to do, so you can spend more time working out and less time trying to figure out what you're going to do for programming. Also, if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button, and thank you so much for watching.